Hare Krishna, ladies and gentlemen. It is 2015. This is episode number 38 of LuchaWorld. And it's good to be back. And Fredo, how did the holidays treat you? Fredo Esparza. This is Fredo and the Freak, by the way.
Do you want me to say how it treated me? Like the real story?
The real story. We want the truth.
Well, a lot of repair in the house in Walnut Hills pretty much put a dent in my bank account.
Ouch. In fact,
but everything's working now, so...
I didn't witness the repairs, but I heard some of the repairs being...
Yeah, you did.
On the phone.
Yeah, you were here. I think you called both times, I think. The first time when they were fixing the plumbing, and the second time when they were finishing the other part of the plumbing, which was the shower and all of that stuff.
And now that all is said and done, is it a happier, peppier Walnut Kills?
Happier Walnut Kills.
All right.
Much nicer, safer for everyone. We won't actually... We don't have to worry about a gas line exploding on us because they actually put in new gas lines.
Nice.
Apparently.
You don't have to go through a San Bruno explosion.
They were telling us they had galvanized pipes for the gas lines, which apparently they said that they don't use that anymore. It's like, well, that's good. That's good to know. Oh, the great thing was the guy... Actually, when he was fixing the gas line, he cut through the sewer line. So he's like, don't use the restroom for a while. I'll be right back. So he comes back, he fixes it up. He did a great job.
Oh, cool.
They both did a great job. Really nice guys. One of them just kept on singing throughout. Like he was
concert.
Yeah, he was just like the whole time just happy. Like I'm done. And he's like, hope to see you never again. Because I'm like, are you saying that because it costs? Yes, because it costs you guys so much money. It's like,
that's great. That's great.
Yeah. So, but it's all working fine now.
Very cool.
So that's how our holidays were. A lot of visitors, a lot of repair work.
We had a lot of visitors.
Yeah.
We hosted Christmas Eve and Christmas, and a small New Year's Eve gathering.
Oh, you did?
Just two friends. Actually.
Oh, okay, that wasn't that bad.
But we did a lot of
a lot of drinking.
Did I do a lot of drinking? A little. Medium drinking and a little toking.
Yeah.
And...
Oh, jeez.
Yes. Hey, it's Christmas time. You got to bless the herb.
Yeah. Oh, well, we should mention, before we get to all the news, right before that, because I don't think we did a podcast after we went to the posada. Did we go to do a...
I don't think we did we?
Posada. I should say posada. I'm in...
That's right.
I'm going to try...
You are not a true Mexican. You are a disgrace to your people.
If you know Mexicans, basically, when you're English-speaking Mexican... and you know both languages, sometimes you say the words, because you're around a lot of white, non-Spanish speaking people, you kind of like gringo it up. Gringo up all the words for people. So then you end up saying like posada instead of posada. Titan instead of titan. Stuff like that. So
is it almost pick and choose? Like there's no...
Yeah, there's some stuff, and then there's some stuff I can't remember how to say in Spanish, so I say it in English. Some stuff I can't say in English, I say it in Spanish.
One of the cutest things I hear every now and then is I'll hear somebody speaking Spanish. Like I heard a woman talking really rapidly in Spanish, and every now and then she says a word that looks like it was spliced in oh, vamos a 24-hour fitness.
Yes. They do that on the news all the time. The Spanish news.
It is so funny. It's so much. It sounds so much like a soundbite was inserted into it.
Yeah. So the posada. I don't think we did a podcast after that, did we?
No, we didn't. Superboy and his family threw a great posada, which explain to people what a posada is, who are not up on posadas.
Let me look it up. No, just kidding.
You know what a posada is.
Basically, like before Christmas, there's like a group of friends, family gathered together. Sometimes it's the church that does it too, also. And they what it is you go to each house and you sing, like to enter the house.
Okay.
It's basically like what
Christmas carols.
Yeah, you're probably less religious than I am, but you probably know more about it. Like when John Jesus' parents, what are they called? What were their names?
John and Mary.
John and Mary, yeah, them.
They had another kid, Jim.
They didn't have another kid. Come on, we know this.
Yeah, Jimmy Christ.
Well, they would go around because they were finding a home for a place to like stay that night. So then, so what we do is you sing the song. The people going, half the crowd, half the people at the party would stand outside and sing, asking to come in, and the half inside would not let them in. sing a song, not letting them in.
Yes.
And then you finally get to the one house that would let you in. that's where the party would be.
Okay.
And then you have a party, and you have like piñatas and stuff like that. Although I don't think they did that back in the old days.
In the old days,
back in the when I don't think Jesus had a piñata.
No, I don't think so. What kind of piñata would he be able to make?
It's one of those.
A piñata of King Herod.
It's so funny because
pink King Herod in the head.
All of us have these different religions and have all these like traditions that go along with it. But then if you don't do it for like 20 years, you don't remember any of it. Like I haven't done, like I was telling you when we were at the posada, I hadn't been in a posada since like 1989 or 90 or no, actually after that, like 92 probably. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it wasn't something that we like. I'm a kid. I'm not thinking, oh, what does this mean? What is it about? I'm just thinking, why are we singing outside? Why do we have to go outside in the cold?
You do it because your family does it.
Yeah,
and else does
and then.
we used to go Christmas caroling when I was a kid, door to door.
I went to catechism and all that stuff. I didn't even pay attention to any of that stuff. I was the one kid who was like trying to like stay awake throughout the whole thing. Like
you're trying to keep yourself awake by thinking of wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I would always think about wrestling. I think I said on podcasts in the past, when we would go to church on Sundays, I would try to skip just to watch Juarez Lucha. So I wasn't the most. I'm religious, but I'm not completely I'm not this. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm a SoCal Buddhist. As I would say. I kind of dig it all, as long as nobody's like dissing it. So
basically, this explanation was the same awful explanation I gave a couple of the guys at the posada. They didn't know, and I was like, I don't really know. Yeah. I think they understood. I think most people understand once you tell them, oh, it's something from our religion.
Yeah, it's essentially a Christmas party where we ate lots of pizza.
Yeah, pizza.
Peaches. What was that group? The President of the United States?
Lump.
Gonna eat a lot of peaches.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was that.
But
they had lump and then they had peaches.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. But it was a fun party, and I love their traditional. Several wrestlers came in their masks.
Yeah.
There's no ring setup or anything. It was just a Christmas party where we drank Christmas punch.
I think most Lucha fans probably, if you've seen it, been around for a long time, it would be similar to what you might have seen on CMLL TV, like back in the past, where they would show like old clips of parties.
The annual,
annual wrestle. That's basically kind of what it was, and there was awards too. So
yeah, it was a really fun night. Yeah, it was a blast. Had a really good time, and thank you, Superboy.
You strip danced on Superboy and on Che Massey.
This is true. Yes. For those of you who don't want to see something horrified, don't look for my Facebook picture of me giving Che a lap dance. But it is on Facebook.
Yes,
if you want to see
there's the video, but it's private. You got to go on. You have to find it on Kurt's.
Exactly.
It's only on Kurt's Facebook page where you can find it. I think only 14 people saw it, so you're safe. And it's only 20 seconds long.
Well, consider I'm 52 years old. I wasn't too horrified at how I looked. I was prepared to
Yeah, and then what else? There was piñatas broken. There was. I spent most of my time talking to Ciclón Moreliano.
That's right. Yes.
Who was really cool.
Nice guy.
Yeah. I think, you know how everybody likes Lucha Underground?
Yes.
He's the one person I met that doesn't like Lucha Underground.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was surprised.
So he must be a Lucha purist.
And that's the reason.
Yes.
I think that's, I think people think, oh, you don't like Lucha Underground. And you like Lucha, but it's because you're a Lucha purist, you like the old style.
Exactly.
Or you like you're in this warped type of mentality where the new stuff isn't good and all this stuff, Yeah,
I'm somewhere in between. I love old school Lucha. I mean, I love it, but at the same time,
Yeah, I enjoy new stuff, yeah.
It's going to evolve. Well, we have a lot to go over today. We're going to look at...
we should start with Lucha Underground.
We'll do Lucha Underground. We're going to look at 2014 in review, and I'll talk a little bit about what I saw on FantasticaMania. FantasticaMania.
Kurt watched 2 New Japan shows and only watched partials of each show.
And we'll be talking that after this brief commercial timeout.
Who has saved me and washed me and cleansed me? I have sinned against you, my Lord. Oh, Jesus. And I would ask that your precious blood would wash and cleanse.
If I get that fucking money, you're gonna be a fucking payday somewhere.
Humans! Wow, that's scary.
But it was like,
We have returned. That's right.
We're complaining. I'm complaining. I'm complaining about Kurt making me do more work. So Lucha Underground. What was the last thing you watched?
The last thing I saw it today. I didn't see an entire episode, but I saw
the Aztec Warfare.
Yes, where Prince
you didn't see the entire thing.
No,
the whole point was to watch the entire thing.
I know, but I didn't. I just watched that one match, and again, I enjoy seeing Puma work with Johnny Mundo.
Yeah,
watching those guys.
I actually thought that was a pretty great match.
I did too. I enjoyed it a lot.
I think there were the only parts where I was really like bored was when Sexy Star was fighting with Chavo. But I mean, it was something that they're doing their storyline thing.
Exactly.
It doesn't really affect it too much.
Bug me, really.
It doesn't bug me, but it was just like a part where I was like, and there was a little bit of a slow time, I think, because they were doing that. Mm-hmm. So that part. But I really liked when Phoenix super kicked. He didn't super kick. He drop kicked Mascarita Sagrada as he's doing a dive off the apron. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
You didn't see that? Oh, that was awesome. That was my favorite part of that match.
I actually knew the ending because somebody at work actually ran up to me and said, "Hey, did you see Prince Puma won the title?"
Oh, geez.
Somebody at work actually came up to me and said that.
Really? Wow.
And then they said, "Yeah, on that Lucha show."
that one person that gets El Rey Network.
Exactly. Like I said, I know all these people at work who know about Lucha Underground.
Yeah, but they just don't have the chance.
Only maybe 2 or 3 of them get the station.
Well, they could get it on Unimass.
Yeah, and they can look it up online.
Yeah, online. I mean we watch it like we watch it sometimes through like different. I watched like the English version, the Spanish version. I think the Aztec Warfare. Mm-hmm. I watched on the. I didn't have time because, like I was saying, they were doing repair work, so I didn't have time to watch it during the right after the because they came on the Thursday and Friday. I think they were doing the repair work, so I didn't watch it until Saturday, and I thought, well, you know what, I'll just watch the Unimass because Hugo Savinovich is a lot better than listening to Matt Striker, and I really think I should start doing that more often because, oh god.
And you know, those ones are the ones that I DVR, and I usually watch the ones with Striker and Vampiro, and I think I'm going to change that. I can only understand a little bit what Hugo, but he doesn't talk in overly scholarly.
I think I'm going to mute. So. I think I'm going to mute the show from now on while I watch it. the Matt Striker Vampiro. I mean, I think when we started doing this show, you would ask me, and I said they were awful from the beginning, and you were like more or less kind of like giving them a chance.
Yeah.
But you did say Vampiro you don't think was very good at all.
No.
Oh my god, the last show, minutes before we started doing this podcast, I finished watching this past week's Lucha Underground. Mm-hmm. My god, Vampiro and Matt Striker were awful.
Oh wow.
Matt Striker, I will say one thing: he stopped saying Blue Demon. He's now saying it the English version, Blue Demon Jr., which is fine. I mean, I don't know why you have to say it Blue Demon Jr. I mean, if you can't say it in Spanish, say it in English. That's fine. Mm-hmm. It's an English word. I mean, I think the one that, like I was saying earlier, like Titan, that's different because nobody says Titan.
Yes.
Nobody calls him Titan. They all say Titan.
Yeah.
So, but like Blue Demon, I mean, that's an English name. Even if you say it in Spanish, it still sounds a little bit English.
Yes.
So, he stopped saying that, but then, oh god, there's a spot where Angelico gets like like I think he gets slapped in the ass or something. So then, or he gets poked in the ass, which is a lot worse than it sounds. Mm-hmm. And so Vampiro asks Matt Striker, "What do you call that move?" And Matt Striker tells him, "Oh no, he gets kicked in the ass. He gets kicked in the ass." Vampiro says, Matt Striker says, "It's a toe to the brown eye." And I'm like, oh my god, dude.
What a moron.
That's like a porn.
It sounds like something stupid Vince McMahon would say.
yes.
Something he'd heard back in junior high and 50 years later.
You know, like, there's some guys who are naturally funny.
Yeah.
But a lot of the guys in wrestling aren't naturally funny.
Oh god.
Like even Jerry Lawler, I mean, he tries to be funny and he's not funny anymore. It's not like, because he's so dated, like his stuff is so dated, it's like, it just doesn't work. So you sound a lot worse when you're talking. But I mean, Vampiro was ridiculously bad on this show. Like, first of all, he starts talking, they do that kick to the back, so he remembers Fit Finlay. Mm-hmm. Then they do some other move, and he remembers Booker T did that to him in WCW. Then they do the kick to the back again. Oh, Fit Finlay did that to me. So then you're watching this main event match between Phoenix and Puma, and they're doing all these cool spots, and all you're hearing is Vampiro name dropping all these people's names. Like, first he starts with Fit Finlay and Booker T. Then Phoenix does the 450 splash. So rather than him like saying oh, what a great move, and like getting the people excited for the move, he's like, they start talking about Matt Striker starts saying that he must have stole that move from Puma. So then Vampiro's like, or maybe Puma stole it from somebody else. And then there's not, everybody steals moves. He probably stole it from Jushin Liger, Great Sasuke, and then like some other guy. And I'm thinking, none of those guys ever did a 450 splash. I don't think any of them ever did a 450 splash.
No.
And I'm like, dude,
we should start a drinking game that every time they mention a wrestler not associated with Lucha Underground, we take a drink. We would be so hungover the next day.
You're watching this really fun match, and they're not even calling the match. They're busy saying all this like stupid shit about like Matt Striker asking Vampiro, "Do you think they're watching this in AAA in Mexico and New Japan for the talent?" And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
It would one thing if he did something like cool, like a Mike Tenay, where they bring up Finley and give some quick historical reference, then move on with a match. But I mean, it's like,
yeah, and then there's some of the moves like Vampiro supposedly knows all this lucha, and like he's not even bringing up like the La Reinera that's been done by Shocker for ages.
Yes,
Ringo Mendoza did that move. Didn't he do that move too?
I think he did, yes.
All these other guys did the move, and you would think he would know, like, he would know a little bit of a background on that move. I don't know. It kind of seems like if they're, it just seems like I don't know. It just annoys me. Like, Vampiro just annoys me.
Well, and, yeah. I mean, I'll never forget when I was in Japan with Meltzer, there was a video shop that actually rented out, like, old tapes. From, some from other countries, and we actually had one that was from a UWA show, and there's a women's match, and Lola Gonzalez gave somebody forgetting the name of the move.
Vampiro here.
I think Atomic Drop, and it was a fairly new move to All Americans, but this match was like from '85, and Meltzer says, "She did that way back when?" And I'm like, hey. To be honest, Mexico has invented a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like
through years. You know, Mexico was ahead of its time. I know a lot of people would argue with me about that, but Mexico was probably one of the most innovative countries when it comes to pro wrestling.
First match on the show is a 4-way between Brian Cage,
yes.
Now it's Cage, versus Argenis, Aerostar, and. Angelico. I have to say he's South African. I mean, I can say Angelico. I mean, come on. So,
but how about Johnny?
So then Matt Striker starts talking about Argenis and says that Vampiro compared him to a combination of Silver King and Dr. Wagner Jr. Have you ever seen Argenis wrestle? No. He's nothing like those two guys. Wow. So then he goes to Vampiro, and Vampiro's like. Vampiro laughs and he's like, I'm kind of out of it because I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, so he made it up. Vampiro never said that. I don't think Vampiro would ever compare. I don't think Vampiro would even know who Argenis is. Like before he saw him right there, because he was talking about how Aerostar does his finish, his dive off the outside dive that he does the back first dive, La Dormilona.
Yes,
it's a move he's been doing for. Since he's been wrestling, basically. So then Vampiro, before that match, he's saying, Aerostar, I've been watching that guy wrestle for years. He's really good and all this stuff. And like, he does a La Dormilona, doesn't even mention it. He just like, what a dive. And it's like, dude, you know the name of the move? Get it over.
Yes.
It's La Dormilona. I mean, that's the one thing he's known for. Like, that's like, Aerostar can, like, he could show up and you just tell people, the guy who does La Dormilona, Aerostar,
and
okay.
And also, even if you didn't know the move, you're the commentator, let's take somebody like Gordon Soley. He would learn what the key moves were before he even saw them.
I mean, I'm not even expecting them to, like, know because, I mean, if you're watching that Prince Puma Phoenix match, they're doing so many moves that no one would ever be able to, like, name every move.
Right.
Like, especially live or like during the match, like as it's going on, you're not going to do that. But I mean, there's some stuff that they do that you should actually know. Like, okay, like how come they can remember the Johnny Mundo's Moonlight Drive and all these other the End of the World or whatever? How can they End of Mundo or whatever?
Don't you mean Honey Mundo?
Yes, whatever. But I mean, you would think they would remember that. They could remember that. Why can't they remember all these other guys? Like that one move they do because they're known for,
exactly,
and they can't remember it. Yeah, so I just thought the announcing was really bad. The show is good. The show is good. They got Cage over as a monster. That's cool. Which was awesome. That guy, I mean, I remember, we even mentioned this, like, when we first saw him, like, a couple of years ago. I think we were, like, I think it was an MPW show, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Because I think, yeah, because then we saw him afterwards at another show. And, like, we were talking about how this guy looks so much more like a pro than everybody else. And we're like, how is this guy not in WWE or TNA? So then, like, I think 2 years ago, I mentioned the same thing on Twitter. And Kevin Kleinrock's like, he's like, I'm baffled too. I don't get how he's not in, because I'm like, this guy has the look. He's really good in the ring. You would think he would be in one of those places, like at some point.
Sometimes there's a story behind it. Sometimes it's just bad luck. Sometimes it's.
Dude is huge now. I mean, too. Like he's like a little strong man.
Pretty jacked.
Yeah, jacked. Yeah. He's awesome though. He does a lot of cool stuff. Yeah.
So Lucha Underground. In spite of the lame announcing, is still worth watching.
Yeah. And then you could, if you want really good announcing, just go watch it, the Spanish version, basically, with Hugo.
I have to throw out thank you to Kid Zombie for alerting me to the first day of FantasticaMania in Japan.
And you watched the entire thing, of course. Right after you watched Impact.
I watched a lot more than I had planned to.
Or are you going to watch I should ask, are you going to watch the New Japan show tonight?
Not tonight.
On Access TV? But did you set up your...
No, I didn't.
Oh, you don't know about this?
No, I don't know.
It's on Access TV. Do you have AX? It's AXS.
I will look because I watch so little TV these days.
Yeah, it's
I don't even know which.
You're getting it on with English commentary. Mauro Ranallo and Josh Barnett.
Okay, I'm gonna look.
They'll probably win Best Announced Team by a mile. Mauro Ranallo was really good. Robert O'Connor from Canada used to send me all those Stampede tapes.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, so he did a lot of that show. He was a co-host with Bad News Brown.
It was really interesting seeing the first show. There was the match that KZ steered me toward on Daily Motion. Was Tanahashi, Volador Jr., and Atlantis against Okada, Gran Guerrero, and Ultimo Guerrero.
That was the main event, right?
Yes. So I watched the main event first. I always do things a little off like that.
Well, it's all split. Isn't all of them are split on Daily Motion, right?
Yes. Yeah. I kind of went match hopping. I just went from match to match. It was a cool traditional heel beatdown that they had, and it was a little different where they're just not beating down every baby face. It was almost like old school American where they're pulling the baby face into the corner and smacking one baby face around at a time. They obviously knew that the fans knew the storylines. The only awkward part was the introductions were done in Spanish. And they said, dos de tres caídas, and it was a one-fall match.
Apparently they didn't get that part.
Exactly.
But they have the Spanish announcer, right?
They do,
They should have told them, una caída.
Yeah. He got the other ones right, just that one. But it was very cool. Obviously, the fans knew the story with Atlantis and Ultimo Guerrero. Ultimo Guerrero started wrestling with his mask.
Kind of like what Volador Jr. did last year, right?
Yes. And just midway through the match, Atlantis just snatched it off his head, and he had that nice humiliated look. They really gelled well with Tanahashi and Okada. Everybody worked really smoothly together. And Atlantis took Ultimo Guerrero cool with the back.
The same finish as usual.
Yeah, the same finish as usual. The Atlantis.
I love how we try to make this sound interesting. Atlantis, Ultimo Guerrero, it's like the same finish as usual.
But you know what's funny though is there's something fun watching it with a crowd who doesn't see lucha regularly.
Yeah.
Japanese fans are so cool.
Yeah,
it's like they totally dig.
They dig wrestling. It's like they watch a lot of wrestling too.
The one that I was most excited about and I liked for the most part, except for one really terrible fumble. It was Rey Cometa y Triton against Mr. Niebla and
Barbara Carbonaro,
our favorite.
Yeah. He thanked me on the Facebook page.
Did he really?
For posting the pictures.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, how many guys? I think him and Mysterioso Jr. are probably like the two guys who have always thanked me for that stuff.
You know, it's so funny. Since I've watched a lot more wrestling in the last month, this is actually the weirdest holiday miracle. Is I've watched more wrestling in the last month. Than
I know, and I watched less. Actually, but you know, it evens out because I watch my less is still a lot more than a lot of other people.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's like oh, I stopped watching Raw. I did stop watching Raw because I figure I have 3 hours of watching Raw, or I could watch like the stuff that I haven't watched, and I think that's what I started doing. I'm going to start watching the stuff I haven't watched because it's easier that way. Although this time around, it didn't work out.
I want to say, well, first I'll put the bad news about that match, and it was Barbaro and Niebla were double teaming Triton, and Niebla does a standard plancha.
Yeah.
Only he lands on Triton's knees. And my first thought was, okay, that could go either way.
He's okay now, though.
Is he?
Yeah.
Good. I was uncertain.
Guess who got hurt from that match?
Niebla?
Ray Cometa.
Because he had to do a one-man show after that.
Ray Cometa, yeah. I guess that's probably why he got hurt. He must have gotten hurt.
What happened was, at first
he was out for the last two shows afterwards.
Oh, I hope he gets paid.
Yeah,
still.
I'm sure he is going to get paid. I mean,
I've heard.
He had a baby.
No way.
Yeah, he had a baby son.
In fact, after this,
it's been a good and bad week for Ray Cometa. The highs and lows of Lucha Libre.
The highs and lows. Well, the one thing I want to say is it was Cavernario. I keep worrying that I'm going to see him in so many matches and see that he isn't as great as he is.
Yeah,
but every time
he's really good every time.
This guy is so good.
Well, see, the worst case, even if he just works the gimmick, it's still a cool gimmick. Yeah, like he's a cool gimmick character, but then he's a good worker too.
And
like
in this match, this is one of the. I think in this match, even though it was a bit of a mess, because what happened is once Tritone's knee was hurt, he got up and he looked okay, and they did a double tope onto the heels, and then he just couldn't get back up. So it was a one-man show, and Cometa...
Well, if you're going to have one-man show, it's Ray Cometa.
Yeah, this is true.
He's the right guy to have.
Like you said, one of the most
very underrated
guys.
Yeah.
Well, he pins Cavernario. But, despite that confusion, I gotta say, Cavernario, this was the best example of him combining his awesome brawling with technical wrestling. Yeah. In this match, I think he showed it. Was Mr.
Niebla drunk?
Well, I wonder...
You kind of wonder.
If you do a plancha and you land it... Like, if I did a plancha and I fucked it up, it's because I'm just...
Bad.
But, I don't know. I figure if he did a plancha... And,
I think we got to ask.
Things happen.
I think that's going to be like the big challenge if we go interview him.
Oh my god!
We should ask him if he's drunk.
Instead of that, why don't we just bring a 6-pack with us?
Yeah.
Would you like a beer?
Yes, I will start talking to him.
It's Miller's American.
Yeah, it's Miller, American beer. We are your host. Drink up.
What was that?
And then we start wasting. He starts getting a little wasted. We just interview him.
That would be great. I was so mad at a friend of mine because we do have tape that exists of us hanging out in a hotel room with Dr. Jerry Graham when he's plastered and half the other people with us were plastered, and I'm glad we had it, but I was so mad because my friend accidentally erased the interview we did with the doc.
Oh gee, he kept everything else.
Oh my god, yeah, he just accidentally, but I was still livid because he talked about astral projecting, claiming he did it.
That's something Mr. Niebla would probably talk about.
And I was in a mischievous mood and asked him what's the nicest thing you could say about Mr. McMahon Sr., and he grabbed the tape recorder and just looked at it like he wanted to break it and just said, "No good line, cocksucker. When I get that oil money, I promised I'm gonna have him killed. You're gonna read it in the paper that he dies in Fort Lauderdale." But back to the really cool stuff here. Cavernario is. I also love those almost diving lockups he does.
You know what I like that dive he does through the middle rope.
Yes,
I love that. I love that spot. It looks so great on a picture. Like they posted a picture of it, and I'm like, man, no matter who takes the picture, it always looks good. Or it's it has to be the experts, the expert photographers. It can't be just me. Like, let me get this with my cell phone, and it's just you just see a light. Hey, what's that? It's a light.
Yeah. Samantha Cohen always blew my mind. What great action shots she can get. She can make it look like the movie you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, people who are actually camera people, right? Yeah. Not like us common folk. Yeah. So what was the other match that you watched?
Lightning match. Angel de Oro de Relampago. Yeah, Relampago match against Okamura.
I'm sure that sucked.
It was actually good. It was good. 10-minute draw, really? And they got a lot in 10 minutes without it being.
Because that was Okamura's anniversary match, wasn't it? Like the 20th anniversary or something.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
But no, they both looked really good.
I find that hard to believe. Although we're going to talk about a match that we both saw that I found hard to believe, and then somebody else on Twitter told me that they were surprised as much as I was that it was good, and then when I talked to you, you said it was as good as I thought it was. So we'll talk about that in a bit.
Definitely. No. It was the lightning match thing where they're trying to get the pins in. It was a combination of lucha and American/Japanese style. They both looked really good, and it ended with them like chopping each other, just trying to
knock each other down or something.
Yeah, and at the end, it was really cool. Angel de Oro took his championship, held it in the air, and then he pointed to Okamura like, "Let's do this."
Oh, awesome.
And I got to say, both of them.
Awesome.
Really
I don't want to watch that.
The one that was interesting to see, it was also a little sad, was seeing Jushin Liger and Mystico.
Plus, Jushin Liger isn't what he used to be.
He isn't. He's still worth watching.
Yeah.
Versus Gato and Pulvera.
Pulvera isn't very good either.
I know.
Although Pulvera, Titan makes that guy so much better for some reason. Like that guy, he's had great matches against him for some reason, and it's like nobody can understand. They just have great chemistry.
It was hard watching Mystico because he is obviously not what he was, and
he wasn't much back then too.
No, he wasn't. Well, he was awkward.
Yeah,
he was awkward. I liked it. I mean,
he does cool dives and stuff, and that's the
he does. Yeah. But here he did a couple of nice dives.
He's not anything like his brothers. Like that's the one. That's the bad part. Because Dragon Lee actually can rust. Like Dragon Lee is awesome. He's awesome. Like
Dragon Lee. I mean, I almost think they should have gave him
the Mystico.
The only thing is Dragon Lee is cool as Dragon Lee.
Yeah, because he looks like if you see him, like he looks like even with the mask on, he still kind of has that rush, like that energy.
Yeah.
Where he looks like he just wants to
I'm so scared he's going to take like Dynaball and gain 30 pounds and just look...
No, I think
not because he looks so cool.
To me, it always seems like he's like on Red Bull or something when he's wrestling. Because his matches with Kamatachi are like insane, like just like them just head dropping each other and doing all this stuff. Like,
and he is one where I don't flinch at most of the flying moves they do, but man, he'll do some stuff where I'm like, oh, are you okay? Yeah. But he is. He looks like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. So this match.
Well, this match, Jushin Liger did the majority of the work, and Mystico did a few nice dives, but when he actually did high spots, it looked like he was like...
Scared?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, he just looked awkward. He just didn't look smooth. Almost like maybe he had performance...
That was his first match, too, so...
Yeah,
first match back.
I also wonder if he had performance anxiety or something.
First match in Japan. Also in Japan. Yeah. So it's like two things that you're worried about already.
Yeah, Pulvera pinned him clean.
Yeah, I saw that. He's getting pinned in almost every single match.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Now, I dug Gato. More for his gimmick.
His booking. You think of great booker too.
Great booker. Yeah. Wrestling didn't bug me, but
I actually liked him when he wrestled. I remember that match he had with Jericho in what was that, Fall Brawl?
Oh God! Yeah.
Like 20 years ago.
Ages ago.
Isn't that scary? We're talking about Nitro, and it's like 20 years ago. It's like, oh shit.
What was that? Somebody posted something hysterical on Facebook. I don't know if I put it on my page, but it's all these a cartoon of all these folks in old folks' home, all these really old men just arguing with each other, saying, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, AC/DC.
I know, and it's like, that's not what we think as old, because, I mean, that's like, what was that? That wasn't that long ago.
That was like 1970s.
Yeah, early 80s, you know?
The people from that era are actually senior citizens now, which is scary, because I'm going to be a senior citizen soon.
Kurt is going to be a senior citizen. You hear it? Oh, you heard it here first.
If I make it into my 80s, I don't want to die of old age. If I make it to my 80s, I want to die of like a drug overdose, and have somebody there prepared to say, when they cart me away, saying, "Oh yeah, he was screaming, I can see reality. I want to reach the sun," and he swallowed a bunch of pills and lit a joint. And
are you gonna try to wrestle into your 80s?
Oh, I'm almost scared to think what they're going to be doing in pro wrestling in my 80s.
You're going to get
probably going to be jumping off buildings and shit.
Well, they're doing that now in like Mexico. You've seen some of the stuff that they're doing, like jumping off of like they'll have shows outside buildings, and they'll jump off off the second floor of a building to the floor and stuff like that. It's like, Jesus Christ, you guys! And like I was telling you, Meltzer worries about like Drago diving onto off the office rooftop onto a table. And he's basically doing it safely. It's just a plancha.
Yes.
And these guys are doing like it's a splash. These guys are doing like reverse tornillo, like reverse moon, like a moonsault or a tornillo. All these other stuff, and it's like these guys, and they're not really landing properly.
I was going to say, and they're probably not being caught properly.
Well,
either.
Usually they'll have like 4 or 5 guys, but I mean, that's still pretty dangerous.
Yeah, I know. And like you were pointing out,
dumb too, in front of like an outdoor building.
And something you pointed out, the spot that looked more dangerous to us, it was when Johnny Muno dove off.
Johnny Mundo.
Johnny Mundo.
Juanito Mundo.
Juanito World. Juanito World.
We should start a promotion and just like name everybody like different. Like, remember there's a guy named Phoenix in LA? We'll use that guy.
That's right.
As Phoenix, but like with the Y instead of the I.
And let's have
and then instead of Johnny Mundo, we'll have Juanito World.
Yes, Juanito World. And, and we'll bring in Mystico and we'll call him Mysterious. One other thing I want to say about when we're talking about dangerous moves, one thing I dig also about Cavernario is I love watching him do that plancha
off the top
rope onto the floor. But I'm glad he doesn't do it every.
He does, but it does worry Meltzer all the time. So
it does.
It's like, dude, he doesn't do it every time.
It puzzles me, and
because he's even stopped doing. He doesn't do it as much as like he used to do it all the time.
Yeah, I'm glad he doesn't do it every time. And it's funny. That was one of the things that everybody drilled into me when I started wrestling early '80s. Again, different era, different. But one thing I think people could learn is, I remember people telling me, "You have this great crazy bump. Don't do it every single night. Save it for when you have like a big blow-off feud and somebody kicks your ass, and he kicks it so bad that you are spun upside down in the turnbuckle and fall face first on the floor. Don't do every move every night.
Yeah.
And also, it just takes away the mystique of the move if you do it too much.
Yeah, so that's all you watched of FantasticaMania?
That's all I watched.
Man, come on.
The other thing where we're talking about...
You watched the Tokyo Dome.
Tokyo Dome, where I have disagreements with Meltzer is, Brian Alvarez did acknowledge this, but it's like a lot of these flying moves, some of them are dangerous, but a lot of them there you know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But when I watch, I enjoyed enjoyed hearing Jim Ross narrate the matches, and the only thing that freaks me out is all those stiff headshots. Like, I know they're not full MMA headshots, but still, they're stiff, and there are a lot of them. And I have a feeling they don't just save it for the big shows either.
For New Japan, no? I mean, the G1 Climax. Those guys always come out like... I remember when they were sending guys to Mexico, and we would complain about Tanahashi kind of mailing it in. But it's like, dude, I can't really fault him for mailing it in. Because, I mean, he just went through that whole G1 Climax and
probably surprised he need a break.
Yeah, so it's like he's mailing in a couple. Although he did have that one. I think he had one good match on that tournament. But it's like the rest of the show. I mean,
no, you were right.
He's awful.
He did.
But I mean, we get Thunder. I mean, Thunder and Pierrot and all these guys.
Thunder. It's amazing. He's a guy named after one of the worst wrestling TV shows made.
Yes,
and it's fitting.
Yes.
Well, in fact, let's talk about the six-man tag in just a sec after you hear this very unimportant word from somebody who is not one of our sponsors. We'll be right back.
turn off. The body breathing to the old basic rhythm. Turn on, turn off, open, close, in, out, contract, release, speed up, slow down, get free, get hooked. The cellular trip is through the body. The proportions remain astronomical. The mammalian body, the human body, incomprehensibly galactic. Trillions of cells centering around structured organs, all interconnected, humming with market transactions, weather reports, pollution ratings, stellate arterioles, watery canals jammed with plasma planets, hematological Mesnerian clusters, white corpuscle comets, endocrine spaceships commuting, the whole monstrous galaxy leaping through terrestrial networks of living forms.
It's all broken. Everything. Everything that's not broken.
Kurt broke the recorder, guys.
That's right.
We're now doing the show through a phone. Through a phone.
No, actually, we're doing it through the broken recorder, so
yes.
all of you are having hallucinations that you are listening to us right now. You are having very disturbing hallucinations.
I always find it when Brian does because we've done shows with phone through the phone and via the phone and stuff, but like when Brian, because he has new equipment. And you could tell the difference when Dave is on that equipment, and then when he switches over to the phone, because the phone is like, it sounds like he's in the bathroom talking. It's like, holy crap, dude, where are you at? Like inside the shower, or he's inside some basement, he doesn't get a good signal or something. Yeah. So CMLL, we watched a bunch of CMLL.
And we saw a 6-man tag.
We should talk about this one first, because okay. We could talk about the one you're saying, the January 4th one.
Yes.
Because this one was a lot earlier. So I'm watching Lucha Azteca, and this match ends up being the main event. It's La Sombra's return from Japan. Mm-hmm. So it's La Sombra, La Máscara, and Marco Corleone as Los Ingobernables versus Shocker, Thunder, and Último Guerrero. And so I'm thinking, at least we could have the Ingobernables together with Marco.
Right.
La Sombra's back. He's really cool. He's done great as
awesome.
Doing that gimmick as a heel and everything. La Máscara is not as good. If they didn't add Marco, I think that if it was just La Máscara representing them, it would have been get rid of it.
No, it would have been. I mean, he's not terrible, but he's third wheel. He's third wheel.
But he's too repetitive. This is a guy who's really repetitive. So I'm thinking, man, this match is gonna blow. Mm-hmm. It's gonna suck because Ingobernables matches are usually just like a brawls and stuff.
Yes.
All of a sudden, this match ended up being really because it was an Ingobernables match. I think it worked because it hit Thunder. For whatever
yes. And also they knew what to do with Thunder.
Yes,
they knew how limited he was.
Yeah, so it's so they just brawled with him. They tossed themselves around for him. They did all this other stuff. It ended up being a lot better than I'd expected.
It really surprised me. In fact, I don't even know what impelled me to watch that particular match, but I thought, oh, what the heck?
Well, I watched the entire episode, and it's since I'm there working on my computer, I'm I'll just watch the entire thing. And I'm watching, it's hey, it's not that bad of a match. As it kept building up, and I even mentioned this on Twitter, that match wasn't that bad. And somebody's I agree with you. And then when you called, you said, I saw that match, and it was actually pretty good. And I was wow. Wow, it's not just me thinking, oh, I'm being nice.
No, it's what frustrated me about watching Thunder before is you could have 5 talented guys in the ring, and Thunder ruins the match.
Yeah. Same thing happens with Piro, with Comandante Piro.
Right. And in this case, it's kind of they really knew how to work around.
You know what I think? The one thing I can't stand about Ultimo Guerrero, that spot where he does La Periquera. You know what that move is? No. It's the one where one guy they put a guy on the ropes. One of the guys holds that guy on the ropes, he's laying on it. He's on a bed.
Crucifix-like.
And then one guy jumps over, Ultimo Guerrero will stand behind the guy holding him.
Yeah.
And then the guy runs on the ramp and he throws him over him. Mm-hmm. So it's La Periquera. So he does that move with Los Guerreros Laguneros, which is fine. But then when he starts doing it with Thunder and all these other guys, it's these guys will fuck it up some way. And it's why are you doing all the same repetitive moves with guys who don't really do it and shouldn't be doing it?
Why not just keep
Thunder
it simple?
You have to, he had, this wasn't this match, but it was a different match, where Euphoria Niebla Roja had to jump over Thunder. And it's they made it look so bad. It wasn't this match; it was another match. And I'm like, that's the one thing I can't stand about Ultimo Guerrero when he starts doing all that repetitive
that's
stuff.
That's a shame, especially when you have somebody limited. Keep it simple.
Yeah, and Thunder shouldn't be the guy doing that spot.
He should not.
Because he's really tall. He's really tall. It should be somebody who's a little smaller, can hold the guy.
Yeah.
The guy can jump over him. Or at least a little more athletic.
No, people should just bounce off Thunder.
Yeah.
He's a monster.
So, I was surprised at how good that match was. Like, it wasn't like a match of the year type, but I just thought it was a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, I'm actually always impressed when there's a match that, by all logic, should not work, but winds up working.
Yeah, then I was telling you about a match. You know what it was? When we were talking about the match you were telling me that you saw, I had the wrong date. It was the 28th, the one that was the 28th. It was Maximo Valiente Volador Jr. versus Mr. Niebla, Nero Casas, and Terrible. Oh, that was the Rey Bucanero was the other one. That one has Kemonito and Zacharias Esperico.
I was looking for that, but I found the wrong
They basically get involved throughout the match. It basically ends up being like a 4-on-4. At one point, they have Nero Casas caught. You know how they do that spot where Maximo crawls towards the guy to kiss him?
Yes.
While he's crawling towards Nero Casas to kiss him, except Zacharias Esperico runs in and slaps Maximo across the face. So then they to protect him. So then they start. Kemonito runs in and they start brawling and they have their little spots and everything. It's actually a really good match. Best use of the mascots I've seen in a while.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. I came across a similar match that was good, but unfortunately I didn't come across.
Yeah, the Rey Bucanero.
I gotta say, Maximo is not somebody who's going to be a top singles wrestler, but man,
apparently he had a great match with Nero Casas, which
I want to see that too.
I haven't had a
and
time.
man, he I gotta say, I've liked him a lot more in the last year than I have.
Yeah.
I mean, he works his butt off, and he's fun.
I think since probably the Anniversary in 2013, I've kind of warmed up to him more.
I have to, and
I couldn't I think because he was on every single show, and I think the Exotico gimmick sometimes kind of wears me out because it's constantly. How many times does this guy have to kiss this dude? And it's part of the act, and constantly doing it.
Well, I think it used to be more of the act and less wrestling, and he combines them both really fluidly now.
Oh, getting back to Lucha Underground, Pimpinela looked really slow in that Aztec Warfare match.
I didn't see that part. I saw when they were down to the last.
Oh, okay, yeah, he looked really slow in that match, but he's 46 years old. Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah,
and he got hurt, I think, the previous week, didn't he?
He was nursing that shoulder big time.
So he wasn't 100%. Yeah, but I mean, Maximo, I've kind of warmed up. Plus, he's in there with Nero Casas, which you can't go wrong. Well, that match had Nero Casas and Terrible, so I mean, those guys are really good.
Yes.
Mr. Niebla, Mr. Niebla comes and goes.
Yeah, I mean, he's good when he poses, and
I don't know if you noticed, they're censoring his that spot where he does the SMS.
What?
The SMS.
No.
It's a spot. It's called sudor. It stands for sudor, sweat, moco, booger, and saliva. What it is basically when he goes, he puts his hands like this underneath his armpits. Does something with his, I guess he blows into his mucus into his
hand.
Or no, guy, you do that like that thing. When you're gonna spit, you spit booger too, and then he spits up in the air, and then he catches it. Remember, you've done that. You've done that spot.
I've done it even.
Where the other. Well, Mr. Niebla's done that spot too.
Oh, did he really?
He did that spot too. He did that spot right around the last time you did it with Craze. With Craze. Yeah.
What would happen? Craze would spit up into the air, and I'd shove him out of the way and catch him in my mouth.
Yeah, so
and people in the dressing room said that is really disgusting. And I said it'd be no different if Craze and I were French kissing. Yeah, they said that's even more disgusting.
So Mr. Niebla used to do that because I remember when you did that. I said I've seen Mr. Niebla do that spot with Felino, and they had done it. I think, but they kind of stopped because it kind of got gross afterwards.
Right.
But then what Mr. Niebla would do, he would catch it all the time. He usually catches it anyway like that. So they would show it every single time, and people would get grossed out on TV. They stopped. They edit it. They edit it out. Which I'm like, dude, you just hear the announcers. The reaction. Yeah, I've been noticing they censored that.
Yeah, well, what inspired me to do that spot was it's a spot that Ed Moretti, Moondog Moretti, used to do with Terry Adonis in Portland. Where Moretti always spit in the air and Adonis would catch it, and he said no matter how often they did it, people would just be nauseated.
This will make you laugh. Maximo, they always joke about him. They want him to kiss the announcers when he's on that talk show that they do on Wednesdays. Well, he was telling a story that for the Negro Casas, when he was going to wrestle Negro Casas in the singles match this past Sunday, this guy was willing to French kiss him. He's like, he wanted to tongue kiss me because he said it in Spanish. He's like, he was willing to French kiss me for free tickets. And I'm thinking, dude, it's only a couple of pesos. I mean, come on.
No, really, how desperate are you?
Yeah, so I write. You know, if it was Hechicero versus Negro Casas, maybe I would French kiss Maximo. I doubt I would. I could afford. I mean,
you never know unless it really happens.
I mean, pesos. I mean, how much is a ticket? Like $3-4 into Arena Mexico on a Sunday. I'll just wait till the kid that one cheap ticket, the 2-for-1 price, man.
That's right. Just hang aside the arena and beg for some pesos.
You'll probably get in for free sometimes too.
Yes.
Then the following week was really good. The January 4th show.
Yes.
I think it was the third match. Was Dragon Lee, Guerrero Maya Jr., and the Panther versus Hechicero, Hombre Sin Nombre, and Sagrado, and Guerrero Maya Jr., I should say.
I remember early in the match, Sagrado and Dragon are just chopping each other. And I said, wow, it looks like FantasticaMania is starting early.
Sagrado's awesome. Like he's a guy who was never going to get a big-time shot because of his failed gimmick. He was Mystico. He was the guy who was going to get the Mystico spot before the original Mystico showed up.
Yes.
The original in Mexico City for CMLL. So then he kind of, was in limbo for a bit. Mm-hmm. But he started kind of getting better as he did all those lightning matches. For some reason, he was in all those match relampagos.
It's funny. Relampagos seem to bring out the best in people.
Some of them. Some guys, I don't think I think the problem is that nobody's there telling them how to work the match relampago. So then you have these guys working a 10-minute match that's basically they just go through the it kind of looks like they're just having a regular match.
And I think one of the things is that years and years ago, matches often had time limits, except for maybe main events. And so that was part of the gimmick sometimes. You had a 15-minute time limit.
Well, because I'm used to, the Iron Man matches where you would have, the guys, 30 seconds left, and the guys would go, like maybe 60 seconds left, the guys would go crazy and try to, pin the guy over and over again.
Yes.
And these matches sometimes don't have that. Sometimes, they're still, barely putting somebody in a rest hold with 8 minutes left, and it's dude, why are you putting the guy in the rest hold?
No, that's true. That's true.
It's you're trying to win this match.
That's what I think a lot of wrestlers did almost by second nature when they would go to a draw. The television announcer would be counting down, saying, well, "There's only 3 minutes left," and the wrestlers would be desperately.
You never see the guys they need to get the guys to look around and look at the clock
exactly
and try to be oh, I gotta get this guy. And some of the guys really Virus gets it. Mm-hmm. The Panther, Cachorro, gets it. Dragon Lee definitely gets it.
We're trained by classics.
Dragon Lee and Kamatachi get it. Yeah. They try to kill each other, even though they're not trying to get the win. They're trying to kill each other. Dragon Lee on the show said that he thinks Kamatachi was sent by some. He must have he's saying I must have somebody in Japan who's a rival that I don't know, and he must have sent this guy to Mexico just to beat the shit out of him.
As a secret weapon.
Yes, as a
I love
to
it.
destroy it. And I'm
the old bounty.
The guy is this interview, he has charisma, and then he has that little bit of attitude that Rush has, but he's a really nice guy. He doesn't have that, he doesn't come off like a dick like Rush does.
Right.
A natural, Rush just has the cocky son of a bitch look to him.
Yes.
Dragon Lee seems more of a confident babyface type of looking guy. And I'm dude, this guy should be a main event guy.
He really should be.
I can understand because he's 19 years old though, so it's
I hope he continues to rise because this guy is awesome.
Yeah.
When he does the tope con hilo, just
that drop kick he does off the over the rope.
I do get scared when I watch him do that.
That's a Marufuji spot. So
it still freaks me out, but it's good. It's amazing to watch. I know it's just a tope con hilo that I'm raving about, but he just does it so buoyantly.
Even when he takes a move, like a drop kick, when Kamatachi will do something like a drop kick off of the apron towards him. I think he did that in one of the lightning matches, and then he bumps off it he does a full like a somersault.
Yes,
and you're just thinking, my God, you're gonna die because he's so close to the guardrail. You're my God. Guerrero Maya Jr. and Hechicero were really good in that.
They looked really good.
CMLL kind of is building a feud between them, but they're more or less trying to build the feud for themselves.
Now, is it just my imagination, or they're being a little gun shy on Hechicero for some reason. It seems like they're not.
They've been using him a lot more lately,
really?
But I think what the guys who are using, like lately, I think since like mid-November they started using him a lot more. But for some reason there was a period of time where it's like, where is this guy? Like he was being used better by independents.
Yeah, because I mean, one of the things, you know, when we look back on 2014, one of the best things, we got two really cool new TV shows. Well, one was you just got on the internet, and that was En Busca de Idolo. And
I was gonna say, what was the two TV shows?
And Lucha Underground.
Yeah.
You know, something new, something fresh. Yeah. But En Busca de Idolo, I mean...
Well, because I'm not used to it being... Well, like you said, it was online. It was...
yeah, exactly. But I still thought of it as
a
show.
Yeah. Because it really is. I mean, it was a 45 minute
Yeah, and it was better than most TV shows on the television set. But I kept on thinking... Okay, Cavernario, no matter who wins it, Cavernario and Hechicero are really going to be pushed.
Yeah.
And they're really pushing Cavernario, but it seems like, I mean, they're not burying Hechicero.
Yeah, it just seems like he's a really good wrestler, but hey, let's put him on to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way. And it kind of does still, like, even because he's so good in the ring, you're kind of just thinking, why? But see, like, it's weird, because, I mean, I look at Lucha Azteca, the show, and I'm thinking, that's supposed to be, like, because that show in Mexico is the Fox Sports show also.
Yes.
And I keep thinking, is that their main show? Because shouldn't they have like the good matches on there? And instead we're getting Thunder all the time. It's like, or the women's match, that really random, really bad women's match every once in a while.
Yeah, they got to really freshen those up.
It just doesn't feel like a good show.
Yeah,
and it was for a while.
And I've said this before, it frustrates me because I don't think the women are bad workers, but yeah, they just keep putting them in 6-man tags and it just seems random to me.
And then it's 2 out of 3 falls too.
Yes.
Which is,
yeah, they should put them in lightning matches.
I don't know. They're not that good. Marcella can pull it off in Amapola.
Amapola.
Yeah.
You know, we do a 10-minute match,
Yeah.
and you know, if you have.
Well, actually, the trios match in 10 minutes isn't bad. One fall, 10 minutes. Because I mean,
that would be cool.
Yeah, because I mean, really, do we really have to see more than 10 minutes of Tiffany or Goya Kong or Scotty or
right.
Yeah.
I like them all, but they can get old fast and
Dallas.
Yeah.
Although Dallas is very nice, I can't totally hate
well, it kind of reminds me.
Estrellita's boobs.
It reminds me a little bit when I watched IWRG. Is like, how do I put it? I like
IWG is long because that's a wrestling show. That's like, but I mean, they have some bad matches too.
They do. Well, and there's even some.
Oh, and the TV channel they're on is horrible. Like they do some really bad stuff on the show. Like, I mean, what are the odds of a camera guy getting tope'd by a guy?
Yeah.
Like, that's the type of show it is. That's what IWRG is.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. He got knocked out.
They saw
and
Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels match and say, "Let's do this."
And it wasn't even a tope. It was like the guy just rolled out and he like just hit the guy and the guy got knocked out.
Oh my god!
And so. What do they do? The guy's like on the floor the whole time as the match is going on.
Now, what would have been funny?
And so, so that you see some random dude just go over there, grab him, and pull him to the side. He just pulls him to the side. I don't know if that guy was security or just some fan who just wanted the match to continue on.
What would have been funny is if the wrestler felt guilty and started filming the match himself.
Yes.
That I would have. No, IWRG, it's weird. I like the wrestling moves they do, but they do so much stalling. And so much, it's like I want to like it. Like it, and there's some bright spots in it. But all in all, like,
their opening matches are like takes a while to get used to.
Oh lordy! And I think I told you it hurts to say it, but I did see Danny Casas finally.
Oh jeez. Yeah.
And you said he's been around a while.
Yeah. It's like
and he is a relative. He is a legit relative.
Yeah. It's funny because they also use the dinamitas a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I told you when we were at the posada, Superboy said that for his next show he thought he would bring in los dinamitas, the junior dinamitas, who are all fakes, not the actual sons. And I said, well, I guess I'll be missing that show. Although I guess he's not running a show, so I don't have to worry about not going. So, but it was so funny because some of the matches are so bad. It's like
and when I see a bright spot, it's like I want to like the show, but the whole package is just lame.
That's why I say that's what's great about like splitting the matches. Mm-hmm. You don't have to watch the entire show. Yeah, and that's the thing that I like when I recap CMLL. I'm trying to figure out if I should just recap all the shows and not write a lot about one show, because I mean there's so many shows that you miss, and like sometimes you'll watch, like I could be watching the Sunday show. I stopped recapping the Sunday show because it got really bad, and then the stream would always cut out. But then like there's some times where it's like, this is a good show. I really want to talk about it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's like instead I'm talking about Lucha Azteca, and it's another bad episode. Like the cage match. Oh my god, that cage match was
bad.
Awful. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Well, and that was the biggest shocker about this 6-man tag we've been talking about, the Dragon League, Guru Maya Jr. and Panther against Eshi Cero, Hombre Sin Nombre, and Sagrado. That was a Sunday show, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was good. It was a good Sunday show. They've had some pretty good ones lately. Yeah, they've had some good ones lately. Yeah, because that same show, the main event was the Mr. Niebla, Nero Casas, Rey Bucanero, Atlantis Maximo Valiente, which was, I thought that was alright. I don't remember that. But I just remember that being the main event. For some reason, I wrote that down, and I can't remember why.
So much to talk about, but we have a very important public service announcement that you need to hear right now.
Within the dark waters of the Okefenokee Swamp lie tales beyond belief. Donald A. Davis Productions has dared to bring to the screen one of these stories, a story never before told.
Do you only live in the burning mines of some dying swamp madmen? Or can it be you really live, that the stories told are true? Out in that dark and mysterious swamp, there's an angel such as you. Swamp Girl.
Swamp Girl.
Swamp Girl.
Starring Ferlin Husky and introducing Simone Griffith. This fantastic movie was actually filmed on location in the strangely beautiful Okefenokee swamps of Georgia. See wonders never before photographed, with a story so filled with raw action and rank terror, you'll never forget what you have seen, compared to the evils of the outside world. When insecure people dare to tamper with the laws of nature, they must suffer the consequences. Swamp Girl features the beautiful wonders of nature that lay hidden within, and also the natural and unnatural terrors that lay in wait around almost every turn. Don't miss Swamp Girl. Coming soon for you and your entire family to enjoy at this theater.
Let's talk about Wrestling with Death.
Wrestling with Death?
Yeah, the TV show.
What?
Wrestling, what is it? Wrestling with Death? You haven't heard it on WGN?
I have not heard about this.
Yeah, it's this family in, I think it's, I think it's Louisiana or Arkansas. One of those places, Alabama. You know, all those places look the same to me. I don't know where it's at, but it's this family that actually runs a funeral home, parlor, whatever it's called.
Yes.
And they also are big wrestling. They also promote wrestling shows.
Oh, what?
It was actually kind of, they showed 2 episodes. It wasn't that bad.
I think I heard of the...
Have you ever heard of that guy, Derek King?
Yes, I have.
A black guy who had like concrete blonde hair.
I never saw him, but I've heard the name Derek.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I remember I used to watch him wrestle like when I would get like Nashville tapes and stuff like that, and Memphis.
Is this him? Is this?
Yeah, he's married to the one of the daughters of the. Oh. He's black. The family's white.
Right.
But I mean, it's actually kind of entertaining. Like I'm watching the show and I'm thinking, man, these guys are going to be like some rednecks, and they're actually like really nice people, like normal people. I'm like, how are they in wrestling? They just have a weird job. And it's funny because the first episode was the death of a wrestling fan. So they're like preparing her, and they're doing their wrestling stuff. The mom is getting back into wrestling. Miss I think her name was Sandra, and she's getting back into wrestling. So she had actually battled breast cancer. The woman that they were I don't know what you call it when they're preparing, right?
Preparing the body.
To the body and stuff like that. She died of cancer.
Oh, wow.
So then she decided... So she didn't want to come back to wrestling because she wasn't sure she was ready for it. So she decides... She gets talked into it by her husband. And so she does get into wrestling. She's like, I guess I'll get into it in honor of her since she fought.
Oh, that's
I should do it. So it was actually a pretty good episode. They have like the whole family... The little grandson is in it and all that stuff. It's really... It's Derek King is a city guy. So he's in like this place where they're preparing the first episode, they joke, they just like to fuck around with them. Mm-hmm. So the first episode, they have one of the guys get under a sheet in the funeral, and they're inside the area where they're preparing the body. So the man's like all telling them, "Oh, this is where you go and you fix up the body. There's the embalming fluid and all this stuff." And all of a sudden, the guy's like, "Ah!" He just scares them. And you just see Derek King like all scared. So then the second episode is him like trying to get they're trying to put a shot inside on a cow.
Right.
So City Guy, he's like all scared, like what's the cow? And I'm like, oh look, Derek King's scared of cows. But it's actually, I could see like it would be a waste of time because it's a reality TV show.
Right.
But I mean, for 30 minutes, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I'd say for
if you're into reality TV, it's not that bad.
Yeah, for every 50 reality TV shows that suck, there's occasionally one worth watching.
Yeah,
it's
and this
rare,
one's,
but
I think because this one's wrestling, and then they have like, I actually didn't think it was that bad because I mean, first of all, these people didn't come off like they're like retarded or anything.
Right.
Like, you know, when they have wrestling people, they always make us sound like we're stupid. They want us to look like
the idiotic wrestling fan. And if they do talk intelligently, they're going to only give the sound.
They have southern accents and all that.
Right.
But I mean, these are people who like they have a job. They're doing something. They're very like respectful of their fans and everything.
And I can so envision like Hollywood
indie show, basically.
If Hollywood was going to go do something in the South, they'd try to find this really offensive stereotype.
Yeah, like a hillbilly,
exactly.
I'm not like Jamie Dundee or like a 30. Although that wouldn't be bad. I mean, a 30-minute
that would be pretty fun.
Jamie Dundee show, like just him going around like trying to get like drugs or whatever would be great.
Yeah, just a Jamie Dundee.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not that bad. We should talk about Rush. We got to do a Rush update because he was on CMLL Informa this past week, and he basically said he finally got the screw taken out of his leg. So he started walking on his own last week. He's on a lot of pain meds apparently because it was very obvious. Yeah, because it was way too like he wasn't the evil Rush. Like he still had some moments where he was saying some stuff like, but it wasn't anywhere near as like there wasn't as much anger.
There's been several occasions where I've had somas for back pain. Fortunately, nothing chronic. But the times I have, you feel like laughing a lot.
Yeah, so
you get the giggles big time, and it just warning. Although I think most wrestling fans already know about somas. Don't use them recreationally because they are very, 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 very addicting.
Yeah.
You feel really good.
Hopefully, this happens to Rush.
I hope not, because that guy's so awesome.
I think it won't, because he even mentioned that his family's been very supportive and like they've talked him out of doing stuff. Like he said that as soon as he said like a week after like he had surgery, he wanted to go out and start training, and that Mystico 2 had just his brother Mystico 2 had told him not to.
Cool.
He told him to wait. He's like, do whatever they tell you to do what the doctor tells you. Don't rush because you're gonna get hurt again. Because I think that must have happened to Mystico 2. I'm guessing that might have happened because remember how they were saying he was going to come back sooner? Although I'm guessing not because, I mean, we saw that video where they're putting that rod inside his leg. It was pretty gruesome. I actually voted that most disgusting promotional tactic.
I didn't even think of what one to come up with.
I couldn't think of a bad match because there's so many. So I wrote on it, again, I've done this. This is the second year I've done this for the Wrestling Observer Awards. I wrote, go ahead and pick whatever women's match you want to put in here and insert it. It's like, I don't care. Yeah.
Well, 2014.
Yeah, 2014. Well, actually, we should talk Star Jr. and Soberano Jr.
Oh, yes.
Juan Cholo and Ramstein's mask. Cholo actually does look like a legit Cholo.
Really?
Ramstein kind of looks like Ramstein. looks kind of like a Cholo too. But I mean, that all of us Mexicans kind of can look like Cholos. Let's be honest. We're not.
Do you consider yourself looking like a Cholo?
Probably.
Okay, that's what we got to do sometime. We got to have you come to a wrestling event looking total
like a Cholo.
Gear. Total Cholo.
Yeah, it was funny because he still has a cool look though. He kind of looks like this actor that does a lot of the drug cartel movies in Mexico.
Oh no!
He kind of looks like that, like that one of those big guys. That character actor look. Cholo looks like that. Ramstein. He's not. I mean, he used to be Fugas, who was awesome when he was younger. Never really got a shot. Like that guy had En Busca de un Ídolo existed when he and Ricky Marvin were around, they probably would have won that and become big stars.
Right.
Instead, Ricky Marvin did kind of become a bit of a star, bigger star outside of CMLL. But Fugas never really turned into Val. He was always a low mid card or even lower, first and second match kind of guy. Yes, but I guess it must have been a bad match because a lot of people were saying they kind of didn't. They weren't that good, which doesn't surprise me because Cholo. If you watched a lot of opening matches on CML on Sundays, which we do,
yes,
Cholo and Ramstein are really bad.
Yeah,
they're not. Although I like Cholo just because I dig the gimmick.
Right.
It's kind of like Metallica. Remember Metallica and Oro? How bad that? Did you see the mask match that they had?
No,
it was really bad.
It
was on a Sunday, of course.
Sunday is bad match day.
Yeah, so how bad was that match where I don't even think I could even put that on I think I might have, on a best of type of thing. But definitely didn't put that in one of the best matches of 2014. Right. That wasn't on that. I think I just put it on just because it was a mask match, and that's basically why I kind of forced myself into remembering that match. But Metallica, at least, out of that match, came with that Pepe El Toro gimmick, and now he's people book him because they want to do the Pepe El Toro stuff with him, the Pedro Infante stuff. They really dig that.
Oh yes,
yeah. So they're very into that, and actually there's people who will actually watch just for that reason his match. I love he had one match where he did the gimmick and it was great, and then as soon as he gets in, he had trouble taking off the pants, and then he fell, and it's like dude, come on, he's not that bad. He's actually.
It's funny because I always was wondering to that happen when Mascara throws his pants off.
Mascara, you've seen him get stuck sometimes. I think it's a planned spot because it happens too often where he's it gets stuck on him. For some reason it gets stuck. I'm guessing it's a planned spot where he does it.
Speaking of which, I saw a recent match where Volador Jr.'s shirt came off halfway through the mask.
Match.
The match. No, the shirt went through the mask.
No,
his shirt came off, and he eventually put it back on. But as I was watching, I thought he looks more like a wrestler without his shirt and those long tights. He actually looked a little more charismatic.
Was he wearing? Was it that? We can keep going. The phone has begun ringing. It's probably Conan.
Tender, love me, sweet. Yep.
It's probably Conan.
Conan's calling us.
Conan has called.
Oh my gosh. I feel oddly calmed by that sound.
Wow. It must be.
It's going to go on forever.
I'll stop right now. I love. We should just leave it. Let it keep playing. I love how I picked that one ringtone for the home.
That's great.
I was like, oh, this is something I want. What was I gonna say? What was I saying? Oh, you were talking about was it the shirt that he wears where it's a logo or something?
Yes.
That green.
Yes.
I hate that shirt.
I know, me too.
Because it doesn't match. I dig him when he wears that bodysuit but it has
that's not bad.
The same look as that. When he wears the Venom look.
Just the black tights and the black trunks. It brought. I don't know. He looked cooler.
I hate when he wears that shirt that doesn't match the outfit for some reason. It just bugs me. He looks so weak.
I don't like that either.
I do dig that he's always so annoyed at the matches he's in for some reason.
Oh, in FantasticaMania.
Was he annoyed in the
No, this is funny. He smiled a lot, and
yeah, he did. He smiles a lot.
When he smiled, I was sitting there saying, "Wait, he looks like somebody. He looks like somebody." And then it dawned on me.
He looks like his dad.
He looks like Chris Kattan from Saturday Night Live.
Yes, he kind of does. He kind of does.
I just started cracking up.
Yeah.
I said, "You can't have the mango."
If Chris Kattan was athletic.
Yes.
Yeah, a little taller because I think he's a lot shorter than.
There was that one skit where Chris Kattan was Mr. Peepers.
Oh, jeez.
And The Rock was.
Yes.
The Rock appeared with him.
What were we talking about? Oh, Star Jr. and Sobrano Jr. They're now a tag team. Mm-hmm. But it's CMLL. They might not end up being a tag team.
Right, you never know what's going to happen. All best laid plans.
Yeah, so I guess we should talk about 2014.
It was a pretty bitchin' year.
Yeah, it actually was.
Things considered.
I was surprised. I was looking through all the matches from 2014. There was a lot of good matches for 2014. I was surprised.
Yes, there certainly was, and a lot of great phenomenons. One of them being both Carvanario and Hechicero kind of being put out into the mainstream.
From all those matches, Carvanario was in a lot of those matches, big matches. Rey Cometa, the En Busca de un Ídolo, the matches with Hechicero and Dragon Lee and Cachorro, who later became the Panther. Titan, his match with Titan in I think it was on a Tuesday show on the July 29th, I think was a really good match. Actually, I thought that was the best match of 2014. But I mean, he's in like Rush was in a bunch of like good matches. Rush was even talking about how he thought he had a great year. He won two hair matches and Shocker.
Yes.
He had the tag team titles. But I mean, that guy, I think that guy before he got hurt was really on a roll. Like, I think he was basically the wrestler of the year before. By the time, I mean, I think he missed the last month and a half or something.
Yeah, I think
that was already like he was already the wrestler of the year for 2014.
Yeah, I think I picked Negro Casas.
Really? For your Observer Awards?
Yeah, and I believe Rush was right behind him.
I think I put Rush first, Negro Casas. I think Casas might have been second or third. Between him and Barbaro Carbonario.
Yeah, I think we picked the same three wrestlers for Wrestler of the Year. CMLL.
I'm pretty sure Meltzer's going to be like, why aren't you guys voting for Tanahashi or Okada? My goodness, why is everybody voting for...
Because we don't have time to watch all the wrestling in the world.
Yes. Why are you guys not voting for... I think for Best TV Show, I picked Lucha Underground, and it was only like 8 matches. Because, I mean, there was nothing else as good as it. I mean, Raw was really... Like, every time I would watch Raw, it was like, I would watch half... I think we were talking... I think there's countless shows that we've done where I mentioned I would watch half the show and stop watching the rest of it. And then I think right after that I put I think it was one of the CMLL shows.
Yeah,
but I think that fluctuates, the CMLL shows. It's like
I picked Lucha Underground, and even though I don't know if it's eligible since it was an internet show, I picked Un Busca de Idolo just in case.
You know, I think he adds up all the CMLL stuff together anyways. Hechicero had a great year also.
He did. Flying Hammerlock, I love his...
His offense is just, like, his technical wrestling is just amazing. Like,
he is really awesome.
It's so funny because everybody's like, wow, this guy's great. It's like, yeah, he was this good. Like, I think he was, like, people actually complained about him being in the Rookie of the Year voting for the Observer Awards. So Meltzer finally decided he doesn't belong. Because Meltzer's argument was that he's a rookie because I think the argument that Meltzer would make based off the Observer Awards is that it's a rookie for the first, being in a major promotion. Being in a major promotion, but then, like everybody said, Hechicero's been wrestling for like 10 years, and he's actually been in big...
Exactly.
Big, bill, you know, not big bills,
because there was some talk the year Rey Mysterio Jr. won Rookie of the Year. Dave thought, well, he's been wrestling several years, but he was just wrestling part-time.
Yeah.
And so Dave said, well, technically then he is a rookie since this was the first year he
first full year.
Full-time.
Yeah, but it's different when you got Hechicero who's actually wrestling like a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
that is...
So I think Rookie of the Year this year, no brainer, Dragon Lee or Cachorro, the Panther.
I can tell you right off the top of
those
the
are the two guys I voted.
Dragon Lee.
I think I voted Dragon Lee first, Cachorro second, and I think Star Jr. might have been third.
Mm-hmm. No, I had...
Because I'm a big fan of tight shirts.
I just don't like them on me.
Yeah. I think he was the third guy. I might be wrong, and it might have been another guy that I put in as third guy, but I think it's him that I put third. Because I can't remember anybody else that I thought was really good.
Yeah, Dragon Lee, and I'm blanking on who. I know I picked another one.
They might have put somebody from Japan, and I thought, oh, that guy was good. But I don't think I did, because I don't remember anything from Japan.
And one of the matches I really enjoyed was the Rush versus Negro Casas match. I think Negro Casas really works.
You know, that actually didn't make my top 3.
Really?
I was surprised. The number one, I think number 1 ended up being the Barbaro Carbonario Titan match. Mm-hmm. And then I think I put Atlantis versus Ultimo Guerrero, just because of how big...
That was my pick as number 1, just because...
Just how big it was, like, the aftermath of it was so amazing. Cool. And then I think third, I actually picked Tejano Jr. versus Psycho Clown. Because I thought that was actually pretty big, too.
I did not see that match.
Yeah, of course you didn't. Of course you didn't. It was AAA. You're in that... I will watch. You're still in my. I will watch.
Clone Moreliano. I am a purist.
No, you're still. I'm still upset at you for saying I will watch it because Conan said I will, and that was back in Slam and Stan. That was like 4 years ago. Yeah, so those were my top 3, I think. But there were other matches I thought you could easily fit in, and I was like, "There's no problem." Like
I just
that
love
was
the way
one of them.
Negro Casas is cognizant of his age and was working it like he's getting older and has to really keep up with
Yeah.
Rush. And it works. It just works so well. That was a really good match, and CML finally had their biggest show in years.
Well, they had it last year too, so.
But not like this.
The anniversary?
Yeah. The anniversary show.
What was the one? You know, it's funny, like, we should have, like, somebody try to remember every anniversary show. It's like, which one was the big one?
There was a list of them.
Yeah, I know, there's a list of them, but it's like,
here's something.
there's a list of everything, but it's like, you're not going to remember it.
What shocked me is, I don't remember which year it was, but one year, the anniversary show, there was a tag team, it's like a mask versus mask, and one of the guys on the losing team was Superstar. And I said, "Who's that?" And I went looking around, and it wound up being Los Angeles' own, the late Mondo Lopez.
Wow, really?
And I never knew
80s? 80s?
80s, yes. Yeah. I'll have to look it up again, but I just sat there staring at it for a bit, like, how cool.
Yeah, I got to find the time to, like, look back at stuff and write about that.
Well, you know,
but I mean, you just don't have time. That's why I'm trying to, like, figure out how to do the recaps for CML, because it's, like, so much writing about it.
You just kind of do it.
Yeah, just do a short thing or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated by the anniversary shows, because when I look at them throughout history, you realize there are some people that are just being overlooked. And, well, when you turned me on to that MASA Uno
Sangre Chicana match?
Yes. I'm blanking here. That's what happens when I'm sober for too long. No, when you turned me on to that match, which is, I think, my all-time favorite stipulation match, I was looking, and Sangre Chicana was a major draw.
Yeah.
And
he's not mentioned.
Forgotten.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, like I said, it would take, like, somebody actually doing a lot of research and, like, being, like, willing to write all this stuff and then posting it and you know, showing some proof of stuff like that. And even then, you're just not going to have, like I've been saying it for, like, when did I get online? Like 1996 or something. And I've been saying that Sangre Chicana was a lot better than people get credit for.
It took several years to.
Same thing with Paraguay. Like, when people are like, was he good? I'm like, was he good? I mean, that dude was awesome.
Oh, hell, I've talked numerous times about just...
And I saw him, like, when he was already older. Like,
he was older, and
by 1980, he was older.
Was walk into the room, and people went ballistic.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even be wrestling on a mask at match. I did that again.
Your mask and match seems to be an issue this week.
Oh, maybe I should have a few drinks before I do these. Yeah, but... Paraguay didn't even have to have a match lined up. He could just make an appearance in the ring, and people just went ballistic.
Yeah, you know, the great thing is, like, when you go back and you start finding more information, you find out, like, certain guys who you kind of saw when they were older were really good at another point in their careers.
Exactly.
It's not the same as in when you're dealing with Japan, where it's easily, this guy was pretty good at one point.
Or a region where the smart fans aren't like the smart fans here, where they don't take the Observer and stuff, because it took Steve Sims and I quite a while to sell Dave on Martin Cardigan.
Yeah.
And, so you have to be pretty passionate about trying to get it out there.
And even then, the odds of them making it into, like, something like the Observer Hall of Fame,
exactly.
It's almost, I mean, how many guys are, there's so many more people who are Lucha people voting, but it's like, still can't get any of these guys. It's like, so, I guess Top Row. I mean, Tejano Jr. was really good in 2014 too. I mean, that feud was
with Alberto.
With Psycho Clown.
Okay.
And then Alberto that match. But feud of the year, what did you pick as your top three?
Negro Cross's
Rush. Yeah,
that was number one.
And I think second for me was Tejano Jr. versus Psycho Clown, because they actually had pretty good matches. And then I can't remember what the third one was.
Yeah, the second.
The third one was Wyatt Family versus The Shield. And I was like, I can't remember any of this stuff.
Yeah, I think my other pick was Atlantis versus Ultimo Guerrero, just for the...
I like how I just started mailing in, like, all this, like, the third match. It's like, I can't think of this stuff. Like, Ultimo.
You just think of something that stuck out.
Yeah.
You know? I think a lot.
What I do is I look at other stuff. Like, if I see somebody who wrote something, I was like, okay, that match was pretty good.
I actually take enough notes where I'll look through my notebook and say, okay, what did I like this year?
Yeah.
And it's funny, I'll have forgotten about a match, and then when I see my little write-up on it, I'm going, oh, yeah, I remember that. That was so cool.
Yeah, I wrote, like, a list of all the matches. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, Then and I'm like looking at Aerostar versus Superfly. Hey, that was pretty good. And it's like, oh, it's December. It was in December.
Yeah,
forget about that.
It's past.
Yeah, and even then, I don't think it made the top 10. Like I made a top 10. I don't think it made it because I liked a lot of there. I mean, Rush was in like 4 or 5 matches I really liked.
Yeah, this was a good year for me.
The Nakamura match in Japan. You watched that, didn't you? Like last year for FantasticaMania.
I did not see that. No,
that was really good. He wore a bull head gear.
No way.
Yeah, because he's a Toro Blanco.
Yeah,
and then Nakamura wore his that thing that covers his like the KKK type of thing. I just did. Yeah,
we should have Toro Blanco team with White Pork.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, White Pork could like get beat up and everything.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
I did get my picture of White Pork too, so it's like
excellent.
2014, I finally got a picture of White Pork. He's in a cage.
Very cool.
Yeah,
That's even funnier.
That was even the highlight.
White Pork in a cage. Yes. That's even funnier. And speaking of Martin Cardigan, I want to say hello. I just want to say hello to a fellow named Mike Phillips who has been posting a lot of fun stuff on Facebook. He's discovering a whole bunch of cool stuff from Titanis and El Ring. And he keeps posting it, and I want to just give him a salutation.
Yeah,
he's from North Carolina.
I just want to mention that a lot of people asked, I saw people online that were talking about Titanis and all this stuff, and they wanted you to, and they're saying, hey, you could listen to Kurt's the LuchaWorld podcast. I think Slam and Stan we did a show devoted to it. I think we did one of the early shows. I think we devoted.
I believe we did.
Yeah, I can't remember. We devoted a show to Win too, and it's like people didn't listen to that one. And I was like, and then I see them talking about, they don't talk about it as much now. It's like, well, we don't talk about it as much because we've already talked about it.
We've gone over.
It's like there's only so much I can actually handle listening to Titanis.
I keep saying I'm going to do this, and I will do it in limited amounts. But
Olympic, I don't want to hear about Olympic either. Olympic Auditorium Wrestling.
Even when Ray Mendoza was there? Yeah, I know. You were very patient with a lot of Olympic Auditorium.
Especially when Dan and Ryan would call, and he was like, oh, no. Like, where's Fredo? Where's Fredo? Oh, he's over there watching the Laker game. I know, you were the silent man.
You were nothing like you are on this show.
Yeah.
You were the silent partner. Very literally the silent partner.
Well, nobody wanted to talk about Lucha. It's like, I wanted to talk about
Lucha. I know, and that's kind of what we intended to do. But yeah, one thing I would like to do, and I will do it,
I don't mind doing it.
I'd like to go over a character each show because
you said that like
I know
10 shows ago.
I know I did. So it's time for me to get to work. Well, so I'm watching more wrestling. So
10 shows from now, prepare for Kurt to say he'll like to do this again.
We'll turn this into a drinking game too.
So I guess the biggest story for 2014 was really Alberto Del Rio missed the season in AAA.
That is the biggest story.
That kind of just turned their business around, really. And the Lucha Underground, really a big year for AAA. That was really because they had Lucha Underground. They have all this new talent that came in, Mystices, Alberto Del Rio. You can't really say Mystices in Spanish.
Mystices, just change the accent mark. Like, Mystices.
I like how nobody can spell it. Like all these posters, and they're all misspelling the name.
That's why I love it.
Yeah. So, and Alberto Del Rio, who's now Alberto.
His firing was the best thing that ever happened to him.
Yeah, I mean that guy's in. I guess he's not going to be in Lucha Underground. Apparently.
Oh no way.
Apparently, I think he's doing Ring of Honor, and I think there might be a chance he's going I don't know if he's going somewhere else or he's not doing Lucha Underground.
Oh,
I think he's going to do it though. I mean, maybe or unless they force him to sign a contract. I don't
know.
Yeah, because the Young Bucks turned him down because they said they weren't paying him a lot.
Well, and also Alberto Del Rio, I think he's in the driver's seat right now and can kind of
yeah. So he's kind of like
probably.
Plus he's getting he's probably getting paid well right now too.
Yeah.
So it's like he doesn't have to worry about all this other stuff. I mean, plus it kind of was weird when they were saying he was going to work all these shows. It's like, dude, when is he going to rest?
Yes, exactly.
They had him going to Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, TNA, Bellator, AAA, Japan. It's like England,
the Bellator thing,
Puerto Rico. I think that might still be a possibility.
I'd like to see that.
I would think they would pay him a lot more than wrestling promotion.
I was so happy for him when he was being used in WWE on top because I felt so bad every time I saw that knockout that Crow Cop gave him. And I was so happy when
I was really looking forward to interviewing him like at Lucha Underground and asking him about the Crow Cop knockout.
Oh God.
You imagine us couple of nerds.
Yeah, well, I'm
A couple of guys who are like really like
this is
that.
how nerdy I am. I was so pissed off about Crow Cop knocking him out when I saw Junior Dos Santos just trash Crow Cop in the.
You were all happy.
Octagon. I was happy. Yes, I was happy. And then I was even happier when Alberto Del Rio had a second wind in his career. Because, like you said, as Dos Cars Jr., there wasn't much there.
Yeah, because I think he kind of like even like was mailing it in towards
exactly.
the end. Yeah.
And with WWE, I thought he was great, but man, they wrote him in to look like such a dork. Even when he is a babyface, they made him look bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. It's
the last year or so he was there was really bad. Like
it was awful, and so I am so jazzed that he's got a new career in AAA, and not just a new career. I mean, on top.
Yeah, and he's all over the place now too.
Yeah.
So it's like Mysticis on the other hand, he's all right, but he's just not the same as he was. Like all those injuries, he's just not the same.
Yeah.
And then there's so many guys who passed him by, like Máscara Dorada and all. You know, they're in Japan. They're setting up a Máscara Dorada Sombra match. Really? I think they're having a match on the last show.
Sweet.
It's on the New Japan Pro Wrestling World. I'm sure it's going to air something. I'm sure it's going to be leaked out or something. But I said, man, I hope they do that for CMLL because I mean that's actually a pretty good feud. I mean,
that would be awesome.
Plus, you'd get the Estetas del Aire, Mystico coming back. Maybe you'd get them versus Ingobernables. Right. That would be pretty awesome.
And with us raving about like Cavernario, Hechicero, Rush, and Negro Casas, we can't leave Sombra out of there. That was hilarious. That's what's so. He probably had a far more charisma, like a year where he showed more charisma. Yes.
And for some reason, there were so many other guys who were so much more, like, they did more during the year than he did. Because he also went to Japan a lot more often. Yeah. But, I mean, still, like, it's like, and there's Sombra. But you had all these other, Pentagon Jr. was really good. Phoenix, Prince Puma was really good.
It's like there's so many good wrestlers in 2014, it's almost hard to stand out because there's so many different people to focus on. It's been a good year.
Well, like I said, with CMLL, I mean, just that En Busca de un Ídolo brought in 5-6 new guys that are pretty good. I mean, Hechicero's great.
And Tarantes. Let's not forget Tarantes.
Yeah, he was. I was trying to remember who the third person was. I was going to pick for best non-performer.
Actually, I put him.
I didn't put him.
I did. Really? Who do you put?
I put first. I put Zacarias El Perico, the parrot.
Mm-hmm.
I put him first. Automatically, he's first no matter what. Mm-hmm. Second, Dario Cueto.
He was my first pick.
Yeah, okay.
Dario Cueto, yeah.
He was my second pick. And my third pick was Ellie, the CMLL ring girl.
Okay.
Because she's really hot. And she actually, right before I was doing the vote, the Cubs fan posted a GIF of her dancing the Fuego dance. And Fuego was flipping her all over the place. So I was like, okay, there you go.
I was so tempted to just write Amapola as Wrestler of the Year. And then parentheses saying, only because I have a crush on her.
Yeah. Well, I picked Ellie.
Meltzer would have never taken Dave Meltzer would have never taken me seriously again after that. Suddenly he'd say, your Hall of Fame ballot has been rescinded.
Because I was thinking Tirantes, but then I thought Ellie's so much more entertaining, especially when there's like bad matches.
Yeah.
Because they focus so much, like the Lucha Azteca show, if you watch it, they focus so much on the women when they're there, and when Ellie's there, you kind of know she
sticks out.
She sticks out from the other one.
I got to look more closely.
Yeah, so it's like, she's the blonde one. I mean, the tiny blonde one. How?
See, I know her better as the tiny blonde one.
Who sometimes wears a cross.
Makes it even sexier. Bad girl with a little religion. But Tarantes, I don't think I would even put him down if it weren't for En Busca de Ídolo.
Yeah.
He was an integral part of
Who'd you put as best announcers?
Who did I put? I don't even know if I voted on that.
You didn't? Yeah, because there was some stuff where I just wrote, like, for Wrestling Book, I just put NA. Not a no
there's a lot
or
of
something.
ones I skipped.
Yeah, I skipped the MMA stuff. I just deleted off of this. I don't watch that stuff.
I will say it's the most fun I've had choosing the awards this time, and I'm actually kind of thinking this next year I want to pay attention to some of those other. You
know what was the easiest thing for me to just run through and like write out?
What's that?
Worst announcer. I think you have to pick 3, right? Worst announcer was easier. I picked Matt Striker, Vampiro, and JBL. Okay. Done.
I picked only one, and can you guess who it was?
Vampiro.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like the easiest thing I ever did. Yes. Like I finished that one, then I went to the best announcer. I went Jose Manuel Guillen from Tercera Caída, who does a lot of. He's no longer. That show is no longer.
That's right.
It's gone. And I actually do think that guy should be. Someone should hire that guy to.
In fact,
call.
that show has left.
He still has
our last podcast, right?
Yes, and that's right. I should have written that. I even wrote that in the 10 big stories of 2014. That show ending. Their last show was on December 17th. It just ended, but I think there was already like talk of it coming to an end.
So this was
going back to September. So
this was in sight.
Yeah. So because they started doing that once YouTube page called Lucha TV plus Lucha TV, where they put like little clips of matches and stuff like that, interviews and stuff like that. Really good, but it's not the same as having your like these guys. These guys have to talk. I mean, him and his Bernardo Guzman are really good. He speaks English. He's bilingual. I think
didn't know that.
the guy should be. The guy he can call a Spanish. I've never heard him call a match in English, so I wouldn't know that. But in Spanish, he's the best announcer in Spanish.
Wow.
By far and away. So I put him first. I put Puma because you've heard him on Lucha Azteca, right? He's one of the announcers on Lucha Azteca.
Oh yeah, okay, yes.
He's really good. And then third, I think I put Hugo Savinovich.
That's what I should have put down. I should have put down Hugo. I dig it because one,
nobody who speaks English. I put him up.
He's not speaking English, but he makes that show sound so exciting. And I can understand me who speaks very little English. I mean, I'm on a roll.
Well,
I'm on an
mask for match.
I'm on
Kurt
a roll
doesn't speak
down
English.
a steep hill.
I think this show's coming to an end.
It is. Well, it is. Don't you?
Yeah. Well, let's get to the.
But no. I speak so little Spanish, but I can actually pick up a lot of what he's saying, which is kind of cool for English-speaking folks. And he's just like, he makes it sound like you should be excited to be there.
I probably would have voted for some of the Japanese announcers, but I don't know their names. So it's like, I couldn't vote for them because I really like...
The guy with the glasses and crew cut.
Yes, the guy with the glasses and crew cut. And then it's like all four of them have glasses and crew cut. I like the DDT guy. The guy, I don't know if you ever, sometimes he wears a curly hair, like curly.
No, I never
if you guys know if you guys are listening and know the DDT announcer names, let me know who they are. And then there's one that follows me on Twitter. This really pretty Japanese girl. I can't remember. I think it's Momo Miki.
What a cute name.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's her real name. I don't even know. She's like I think she does call the FantasticaMania shows. I think I might have even made fun of her, like her voice being annoying.
Does she have one of those like?
Yeah.
I love those.
But it's adorable after a while.
You know who's attracted to those voices?
Me? No, it's just
Fisico.
Fisico? Me.
Yes. That's right.
According to a Cerro Dorado, I'm Fisico
Nuclear.
Nuclear.
Fisico Nuclear Segundo.
Mm-hmm.
You are the other Fisico Nuclear. Yeah. We got to work that into an angle someday.
Yeah.
We do.
I'll be the one who can't wrestle.
We were appearing on a Japanese game show that was being filmed here in LA.
Yeah.
And they had a woman be a ring announcer, and she did that loud, high-pitched voice, and Jeff just said, like, I find that so sexy. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. There is some sexiness to it, but when sometimes it gets really annoying when you're watching a wrestling show, and it's like, really?
I guess I can see that. Yeah.
I would have voted for her if I knew her actual name. I'm guessing that might be her name. Then again, I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I put her Twitter handle.
Let's look into that for next episode. At 2015, here's to an awesome 2015.
Your prediction for the anniversary show main event. What do you think it'll be?
Oh my God!
Let's do this now.
I have no idea.
Really? Usually, I
would love to have Barbaro Cavanario elevated to the main event. Although it might be soon.
It's too soon.
Too soon.
I don't think.
But I hope. No. This is what I want. I hope he has another stipulation match on the anniversary show.
He'll probably have a middle. Yeah. Him versus putting his hair against somebody else.
I haven't even thought of it, to be honest with you. How about you?
I think usually we find out when the Gran Alternativa tournament starts, and then they do. Or what's the other one that they do? Not the Gran Alternativa. No, National. The National Parejas Nacionales, where they team up a heel with a baby face.
Oh yes, I love
that
those.
match. That tournament usually because the tag. I noticed. I think lately the tag team, the final, usually features either the four guys who are going to be in some sort of stip match, where the final two would end up in the. That's what happened. The 2013.
Yes.
And then 2014 was Ultimo Guerrero and Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
They were in that match. I think for Dos Leyendas, that's the semi-main. I'm thinking whoever's in that will be
They will set it up.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess worst case. I'm going to give you a worst case and a best case. Worst case, Atlantis versus Mr. Niebla. Mm-hmm. Best case, I think it might be La Sombra versus Máscara Dorada.
That would be cool. Oh, that would be really cool.
I'm thinking that.
Now, just put this question out. If it was Atlantis versus Mr. Niebla, do you think...
Atlantis would win that.
I know he'd win it, but do you think Mr. Niebla...
Is it enough to bring in people?
Like, could he put on his working shoes for a good show still, do you think?
I think he's had some good matches, but I mean, well, the problem is, can you trust him to, like, be available? I mean, because he's had his issues. He's had a try, and it's not just like in the past, it's still going on.
Yeah.
It's not like Shocker, who actually smartened up and actually has had a pretty good run lately. Like, I think he had a couple of times where it was like,
but nothing that caused him
but nothing
to go
bad.
Off the rails.
I mean, he's not that great anymore, but he's still capable.
He's still fun to watch.
Yeah, he's still capable of like sticking around. But like Mr. Niebla will have his moments where like he'll show up and he's drunk. I mean, he's drunk, and I don't know if he's gonna. I mean, you can't have a lot. That's why I'm thinking La Sombra versus Máscara Dorada. The only reason I'm thinking that is because I don't know. I think that would actually like. I don't know if that would draw a lot of people, but just because I kind of think that
as far as a match, it would be a bitchy match.
I would feel bad if one of them dropped the mask because I mean. But I mean, who else do you have dropping? I mean, you could do Atlanta.
Good question.
The other thing is, Rush keeps mentioning he wants a mask. There's the other possible Rush challenging somebody for a mask.
That would be pretty cool.
And then him winning a mask.
Yeah, because all his tips have been hair.
And he's won the hair.
Obviously, because of his hair.
Yeah, his hair is valuable. I would think maybe him winning a valuable mask.
That would be pretty.
Would
cool.
make his hair a lot more valuable. So then you could actually have a hair match, hair versus hair, or as he said, mask versus hair, and then he could lose it at some point. But
they should have a few people. They should be.
I'm thinking that would. I'm okay. So I'm going basically Rush versus somebody is probably the likeliest. Second, I think Atlantis Mr. Niebla, just because worst case that ends up
right.
Worst case than that is actually a cage match. So it's like,
oh god,
you know that's the worst case.
That would be terrible.
And then the one I think like I wouldn't be like shocked if they did was La Sombra versus Máscara Dorada, just because I think. You never know.
I'd be on cloud 9 watching it. Like you said, I wonder how if they could make a draw. It'd be fun to watch, though.
Yeah.
I mean, well, here's to 2015. I hope this is a thoroughly.
Or it's Marco Corleone versus Thunder. And I don't mean that.
We know the family really has lost their minds.
I don't mean that as a negative for Marco. It's more of a Thunder thing.
Yes, exactly.
Marco would actually be.
Dude, it's a Thunder issue.
I'm going with the height thing because I don't think they would, because they've been actually building a feud between them too. So.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be funny.
Yeah.
It'd be sad funny, but not funny. Well, before we go, let's
give some shout-outs.
Shout-outs. Say we're thinking about Carl Stern, who just underwent surgery.
Yeah,
and will be undergoing chemotherapy again soon. And
I hear that's fun.
Yeah, I tried it.
Yeah.
I said try anything once.
Yes. You're like, why not?
Well, like I said, I teamed with Kemonito's cousin.
Yeah.
Chemotherapy. Well, I lost my hair, but I won the match.
Yeah.
So it was a nice trade-off.
That was important.
But seriously, Carl Stern, who, if you haven't listened to his show, he does some awesome history. Awesome match history. Boy, I'm losing all credibility, and I'm doing Carl Stern a great disservice, but this guy is one of the greatest historians, especially when it
even
comes
even though we disagree with him about Negro Casas.
Totally. Does he have a problem with Nego Casas?
Well, I think he might have changed his mind because he started watching more Lucha lately.
That's the thing that's cool is lately he has been watching Lucha.
Yeah, because I
dig that.
I think when I heard him say he didn't think Negro Casas belonged in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame was, I think, 3 or 3 years ago, and I stopped listening to his podcast because I was so pissed at it.
That's right, and he mentioned something about Cavernario too, I think, didn't he?
Cavernario Galindo.
Yeah.
Probably. Because Cavernario wasn't around back. It had to be 3 years ago because it had to be 3 years ago. Negro Casas, the last 3 years has been really good. I mean,
yeah. Oh, and hey, let's talk about our personal highlight for 2014. We met Nick and
we interviewed Negro Casas. Yeah,
that I felt like a little kid.
Yeah,
it was fun.
There was a lot of stuff we did in 2014.
Yeah, it was a good year.
Yeah.
It was good. But anyway, Carl Stern continued to get better. Especially his history about like the early 20th century and even 1800s. This cat just has some awesome stuff. He also will occasionally talk comics, which usually I don't listen to. That's not my thing. But he also does some social commentary that's really insightful.
Yeah.
And just want this guy to get better. And he's a tough hombre. So
let's give a shout out to. We should give a shout out to Dr. Lucha.
Dr. Lucha Steve Sims,
yes.
We miss you, Daddy.
The retired, who's not really retired.
Who's not really retired. I want him to say every month.
We never see him at wrestling shows either. Like, it's been a while since we've seen him.
It's been a while. Remember, we used to see him at.
We used to invite him to shows. We used to invite him to shows, but he just doesn't. And we don't know where he's at. Also, yeah, because the Simi Valley shows I think we're closer to where he was.
Come back, Dr. Lucha,
yeah.
Dr. Lucha. We want you back. We miss you.
You know the bad thing, I think from I think late August through mid-December, he doesn't go because he's always going to football games. Mm-hmm. Because he's a UCLA football fan. And then, afterwards, it's I think there's a period of time in the summer where he's, busy with work. Mm-hmm. And then, so that basically gives you January through, June, invite him to shows. But then he's always going to, the Figure 4 weekly conventions. And all that
guy.
Yeah, so it's he's in Vegas and stuff. It's we don't get to see him anymore.
I know. I picture him having a Lear jet. How do you find the time to get to all these places?
Yeah, he must be wealthy.
But
he should invite us more. He should. Yes.
Pick his pocket.
Pick his pocket and see what we get. How come he never drops money around? Have you ever met people who just drop quarters and stuff?
Quarters, and you pick them
up he just. Yeah, you're hey, like somebody who has money, change a buck or something, and just falls out.
Well, we should see how rich he is and have each of us stand on a street corner and disguise with a cup, saying alms for the poor, alms for a retired luchador who never made any money, please.
Yeah. I wonder what his book. At what point he's on with his book.
I don't know, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for listening to Headcats. We will be back really, really soon.